Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. The Flash is a pretty popular character right now. I would say in good part thanks to the popularity of the Flash TV show. So there's always a high demand for more Flash videos and a high demand for more Flash costume videos. So let's make one of those today. I'm going to use two characters because I don't have the styles with all my characters. So I'm going to start with my Multiverse character, and one of the styles that people have been asking for was a Flash version using the negative Speed Force material. So you can see right here what it kind of looks like. Although here I have quite a few things. I have the negative Speed Force material, I have the sparking aura, and I have the quick suit back piece. So I will probably look at this look a few times to show you the difference between each. So here you can see what the character kind of looks like if you have the negative Speed Force material, if you have the spark aura, and if you have the quick suit back piece. Or the Johnny Quick back piece, I should say. I believe this is the enhanced version, although I'm not sure if there's a difference between the enhanced version or the regular version of the quick suit. Doesn't really matter. So you can see the negative Speed Force material as all those lightning effects on it, although it may not be that obvious because of the sparking aura or the back piece. So let's remove those, and we're just going to start by looking at the negative Speed Force material. So here I removed the quick suit back piece and the sparking aura, so you can see what the material looks like on its own. The red of the material is color locked. We cannot change the material. Unlike some of the other materials, there's the void material that is very similar to this. We can change the colors on the void material. We can change the colors on the cosmic material. But for the negative Speed Force material, apparently because of the lightning effects that you see, the material has to be color locked. And they decided to color lock it red. Obviously for all the people out there who wants to have a nice looking Flash character. If you have a speedster character or a Flash inspired character, you're pretty much in luck. There's quite a few things that's been added to the game that allows you to have a pretty awesome Flash character. And here I've added the sparking aura. So you can see when you add the sparking aura to the negative Speed Force material, it adds a whole layer of lightning effects to the character. The sparking aura is kind of subtle, although I remember the first time we saw that in the live stream with SJ and Maps. I didn't think much of the sparking aura because it was very small on the screen and we barely were able to see it. But here you can see that if we get up close and personal, it actually looks a lot better. Although I will also show you what happens when your character is actually running at super speed. As you can see right now, the sparking aura, you barely see it anymore. And the same with the lightning effects on the negative Speed Force. Once the character is in motion, yeah, the effects are kind of there, but you can barely see them. You see them a tiny bit, but not so much. So the only real way to really be able to appreciate some of those effects is when the character is just standing still. We have a friend who wants to be in the video. That's so sweet. And here, if we add the quick suit back piece, again, it adds a whole bunch of lightning effects to your character. So depending on how much lightning effects you want to have on your character, you could decide to just have the back piece, you could decide to just have the aura, or you could decide to just have the material, or you could decide to have it all. You decide. The back piece, once your character is running, you actually see it a bit more than the aura or the material. So if you want some extra lightning effects for your character, the back piece would be a good option, I suppose. Pretty much all the options, the negative Speed Force, the sparking aura, or the quick suit back piece, all those are good options. But as you can see, the one option that really stands out when your character is running is the quick suit back piece. So if you want to have a bunch of extra lightning effects added to your character, the quick suit back piece would probably be the better option. So now we're going to switch characters, and we're going to take a look at some more options for your Flash character. So here I'm going to use my Flash, my official Flash character. in order to be able to show off the look at least a little bit. As you can see, you can recreate a pretty darn good version of our friend the Flash. Thanks to having the Flash cowl, the speed suit, the belt, the Flash emblem, obviously, and you can see here we can see the sparking aura a bit more with the, I would say, the regular version of the Flash character that I created. So we pretty much have everything we need to create a pretty darn good version of the Flash. We have the cowl, the emblem, the boots. Even the belt is actually pretty nice. Or I guess we could have a better version of the belt, but that belt works well enough. The only thing we're really missing is a nice pair of gloves. That's probably the only thing that's actually missing to create ourselves an awesome looking Flash character. And of course, if our character is running, you can see we can still see the sparking aura a bit, but not as well as when the character is standing still, of course. So it's a bit, I guess, the sparking aura looks nice, but as soon as your character is in motion, you kind of lose it quite a bit. But it is a really nice looking aura still. As you can see, once your character stands still, or if you zoom it a bit closer to the character, it actually looks really nice. Again, I remember the first time they showed us this aura, I thought we could barely see it, so I was a bit disappointed by that. One of the things that people seems to like is whenever I use what I would call my cosmic Flash character. Basically, I made what I would label a cosmic version of the Flash character. This was before we had the negative Speed Force material. If I had known, I would have waited for the negative Speed Force material, and that's what I would have used with this character. Sadly, way back when, we only had the cosmic material. So I had this idea about basically creating a cosmic Flash. There was this comic when I was a kid that really was a big influence on me. It was a Brave and the Bold comic where we had the Flash fighting the evil Spectre. I'm just kidding. The Spectre wasn't really evil, but we had basically this comic that was labeled like Flash, the Cosmic Flash, Cosmic Trader or something like that, and that kind of stuck with me. The character looked nothing like that, but when I saw the cosmic material, it reminded me of that cover somehow, and it made me think that, hey, maybe I could create a cosmic version of the Flash. And that's what I did. And with the Phoenix material for the gloves, the belt, and the boots, it's even better. Obviously, if I could, I would keep the gloves red, and I would have just the edge of the gloves yellow. Sadly, with the materials, it's not really an option. If you apply the material to a piece of gear, it pretty much becomes that piece of gear. And again, you can see I have the sparking aura. I have the Quicksuit back piece, or the enhanced version of the Quicksuit back piece, I should say. Again, I'm not sure what the difference is between the enhanced version and the Quicksuit. I guess I only have the enhanced version. And of course, when your character is running, like with the other versions, you don't really see the sparking aura anymore. But the Quicksuit effect remains pretty prominent. So again, if you want some extra lightning with your Flash, the Quicksuit would be a good option. The Quicksuit back piece, I mean. And let's take a look at another version of our friend the Flash. And through some strange twist of fate, through some strange accident, I pretty much ended up using this look for our friend the Flash. Basically, I had created eons ago, before we had the Flash cowl, before we had, I'm not sure if we had the Flash emblem or not, I had created pretty much a Jay Garrick version of the character. I was using the Flash t-shirt at the time. We had a brand new Flash helmet, which you can see right now, that was added to the game at the time. So I got the Flash helmet, I was using the Flash suit, and I had come up with a somewhat retro version of the Flash character, a lot inspired by our friend Jay Garrick. As you can see, I've refined that look quite a bit by using the Flash emblem, by using the Guardian chest piece, and I even I'm even using the Phoenix material, which I wasn't at the time. And for the headpiece, we got some brand new gold material not too long ago, so I thought that the gold was appropriate for that version of the character. Obviously, the silver version would make more sense, but are you going to see the silver version with another build of the character? And you can see this is, I would call it the cosmic Jay Garrick version, and it looks, I love the way it looks. I guess this is one of those happy accidents that happen sometimes. And now I love that look. Again, he's using the sparking aura, which, as you can see, pretty much disappears or is barely noticeable once the character is running. But using the color scheme of the Jay Garrick Flash, as you can see, we can make a pretty darn good version of the Flash if we want to. And here, as you can see, we can make a pretty darn good version of our friend Jay Garrick, the Flash. Here I'm using the Shock Jock chest piece and the pants. For the gloves, I'm using the DC Bombshell Harley Quinn gloves. Obviously, the helmet is the Jay Garrick, or I should say the original Speedster helmet. I'm still using the Flash boots. With this character, I wasn't lucky enough to get the Speedster boots from the vault. I'll show a version with the Speedster boots in just a second. I'm gonna have to switch character again. But here you can see we can recreate a pretty darn good version of Jay Garrick. I'm using the mask because I love how it gives a retro feel to the character. It goes back to the Mystery Man from the 40s. So technically, I know that the character shouldn't be wearing a mask. I'll show you a more, I guess, iconic, accurate version of Jay Garrick in just a minute. And here, obviously, I'm using the silver for the headpiece. Using the silver for the headpiece allowed me to be able to use black for the belt, yellow for most of the lightning effects, red for the chest piece and the boots, and blue for the pants and the gloves. Basically, it allowed me to be able to have a fifth color. That's one of the things that the material can give us. In some cases, it allows us to be able to bypass the 4-color limitations that we have in this universe online. So, for example, if I didn't have the silver material, I would have to put the helmet yellow, or maybe put it black, or I would have to decide not to use the black at all and use probably blue instead of black or something like that. So sometimes the materials allows us to bypass some of the limitations we have in customizing our characters. Although there is some limitations with the materials, obviously the materials are only one color. Like if you put some materials on a piece of gear, that piece of gear becomes the one color that the material is. But it still allows us to have a bit more freedom in creating the look we want for our characters. And as you can see, as the character is running, you pretty much end up losing all the sparking effects. But sadly, that's how the material, that's how the aura works. So again, the sparking aura looks pretty darn good, but it's not perfect, at least not yet. But who knows, maybe someday. Here we have pretty much what is probably the closest version of our friend Jay Garrick that we can reproduce in this universe online. Again, I'm using the original Speedster helmet with the silver material, which is pretty much perfect for that helmet. I'm using the Shock Jock. The main difference here is that I can use the speed boots. This character does have the speed boots, and for those who are wondering, that's how my Multiverse character can actually be running at super speed. I do have the speed boots with this character, even though technically I'm actually using the flying power with this character. So thanks to having the speed boots, I can have the closest thing to the Jay Garrick boots as I can within the limitations of this universe online. And of course, we have the sparking aura, we have the Johnny Quick back piece, the quick suit back piece, or the enhanced quick suit back piece, I should say. So within the context of this universe online, this is pretty darn close to how we can achieve a pretty as close to Jay Garrick as we can within that context. Obviously, ironically enough, there is a Jay Garrick emblem that we could use. Let's see if we can come up with something for our Jay Garrick character. And of course, I'm using the gloves. Technically, Jay Garrick shouldn't be using gloves. But if we don't use gloves with the shock jock chest piece, you can see what happens. The shock jock covers the hands anyway. And I thought using the DC Bombshell Harley Quinn gloves gave more of a retro feel to the character, so I thought it was appropriate to use those gloves instead of using no gloves, as you're seeing right now. As for using the Jay Garrick emblem, if we do that, that's pretty much what happens. And here I'm using the Stalwart Defender chest in order to be able to have a bigger emblem. And also, that's probably one of the few chests where you can actually not cover the hands of the character. But sadly, as you can see, the emblem is not big enough for our friend Jay Garrick. I guess it could still work within the theme of the character. And also here I went with the electric pants as opposed to the shock jock pants, but you decide which one you prefer. So sadly with the Jay Garrick emblem, this is about as close as you can get. I made the edge of the emblem blue so that it could stand out a bit more. Otherwise it's a bit of a mess if you put it all yellow or yellow and red. It doesn't work quite as well as if you have the edge blue somehow, so I went with that instead. Although the Stalwart Defender chest is pretty tough to get, it's pretty expensive on the broker, so you may want to have an alternative. An alternative, I guess, that I kind of like is the Guardian chest piece. Sadly, you also have to buy that one on the broker, but I'm pretty sure this one is much less expensive than the Stalwart Defender chest piece. And it does have a retro quality that kind of works with the character. There's these weird round shape on the style that don't really work, but other than that, this is a pretty darn good option, I think. Although ironically enough, using that chest piece, I would have a tendency to go more with the Flash emblem as opposed to the Jay Garrick Flash emblem. Somehow this almost works a bit better than the Jay Garrick Flash emblem, but I guess it's a matter of personal taste. Although now that I see it, I don't like it. I don't like it as much as I remembered. Seems to work better on my other characters with the cosmic material somehow. Let's see if we can try it with the negative Speed Force material and see how big of a difference it makes. Now that I look at it, I'm not so sure about that. I guess I remember why I went with black in the emblem as opposed to red. Let's try something else. I almost like this better, except for one thing. It's very pixelated somehow. I'm not sure how that can be. It does look a bit weird. I guess I wouldn't go with that. I guess the last version we could look at is using the negative Speed Force material with the gold material. I don't know about you guys, but I love the gold material. I'm looking for more and more styles where I can add the gold material to the characters. And also the one thing I like with the gold material is that in this version, the belt, the boots, and the gloves match 100%. Like you may remember in the previous version, sadly with the Flash boots, there's already a tint that's within the boots themselves. So if you try to have, let's say, the gloves yellow and the boots yellow, sadly you don't end up with quite the same yellow. As opposed to here, if we use the gold material, the Flash boots, the Flash belt, and the Flash gloves are perfect. Obviously, it would be even perfect if we could have the gloves red, the same as the negative Speed Force material, and only the edge gold. But sadly, that is not really an option. And the same with the headpiece. Like if we could have the wings to the side of the headpiece gold or yellow, depending on what you prefer, that would be a perfect option. Sadly, it's not really an option right now. Right now, if we put again the material on a piece of gear, the entire piece of gear becomes that material. There's not the option just yet to be able to have only one color on a piece of gear to be the material. But what can you do? This is what you can. This is as best as we can get within the limitations of DC Universe Online right now. So this will be our last Flash look we're going to take a look at. I probably could come up with a whole bunch of other looks, but I thought we'd start with these. And if you guys want to see more videos with our friend The Flash, all you need to do is ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about that. Basically, I have my Flash character. I could make a lot of videos with that character alone. And I could also explore for more and more Flash looks that we could have in the future. Some of you guys have been asking about the future Flash, like the future Barry Allen Flash, the one that came back in time and had that blue and yellow costume, or blue and white costume, I think. I don't have quite the style just yet to be able to pull that off. It's on the list. As soon as I get the chance, I will make a video about the future Flash, aka Barry Allen. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.